Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pursuant to Article 86 of the Articles of Association of the Bank, I hereby take the chair. I welcome you all to the 7th Annual General Meeting, herein referred to as AGM of Bandhan Bank Limited. It's 11 a.m., time to commence the 7th AGM. I would now request the Company Secretary to brief the members about video conferencing.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Dear shareholders, in view of the continuing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and to ensure social distancing, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Securities and Exchange Board of India, via their respective circulars, have continued to allow companies to hold their AGM through video conferencing or other audiovisual means, even during the calendar year 2021, without the physical presence of the members at a common venue. In terms of the aforesaid circulars, the companies are also dispensed with the requirement of sending the physical copies of annual report for the financial year 2020-21 to the shareholders. Accordingly, the annual report of the bank for the financial year 2020-21, along with the notice for this AGM, have been sent by electronic means to all those shareholders whose email IDs were registered with the bank or RTA or depositories. Now, few instructions about attending the AGM through video conferencing. Please note that all members have been kept on mute. Speakers will be unmuted and once their name is announced. The speed and working of the audio-video mode for joining the meeting by members depend on their respective internet connection. For any queries relating to attendance or e-voting at the meeting, members can call the helpline toll-free number 1800-309-4001. I repeat, 1800-309-4001. Now I would request the Chairman, sir, to kindly start the proceedings of the 7th AGM.
As the Chairman of the Bank, I take the pleasure of introducing my colleagues on the board, representatives of the statutory auditors and the secretarial auditors who have joined the meeting through VC from their respective locations. My director colleagues, first is Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, Managing Director and CEO, participating from Kolkata.
I'm participating from
We have Mr. Vijay Bhatt, Independent Director and Chairman of the Audit Committee, participating from Mumbai. We have Mr. NVP Tendulkar, Independent Director and Chairman of Stakeholders Relationship Committee, participating from Bengaluru. Next, we have Mr. Suhail Chandar, Additional Director, Category Independent, and Chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, participating from Oakland, USA. Then we have Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee, Independent Director and Chairman of Risk Management Committee, participating from Hyderabad. Then we have Dr. A.S. Ramasastry, Independent Director and Chairman of IT Strategy Committee, participating from Hyderabad. Then we have Dr. Holger Dirk Michaelis, Nominee Director, Caledon Investment Private Limited, participating from Singapore. Next is Mr. Ronodev Roy, Non-Executive, Non-Independent Director, participating from Singapore. Then Mr. Snehomoy Bhattacharya, Independent Director, participating from Kolkata. Next, Mr. Subroto Dattagupta, Additional Director, Category Independent, and Chairman of CSR Committee, participating from Kolkata. And finally, Ms. T.S. Raji Gain, Independent Director, participating from Bhopal. Other key managerial personnel attending the AGM in person, Mr. Indranil Banerjee, Company Secretary, and Mr. Sunil Samdani, Chief Financial Officer. They are also representative of the statutory auditors, Mr. G.K. Subramanian, Chartered Accountant and Engagement Partner of Deloitte Haskins and Sells, participating from Mumbai. We also have the Secretarial Auditor, Anjan Kumar Rai, Practicing Company Secretary, Proprietor of Anjan Kumar Rai and Company, participating from Kolkata. Finally, we have the Scrutinizer, Mr. Deepak Kumar Khaitan, Practicing Company Secretary, Designated Partner of Deepak Khaitan and Company LLP, participating from Kolkata. Now I request the Company Secretary to confirm the presence of the quorum for the purpose of the AGM.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. So based on the registration of the shareholders reported for attending this meeting through VC, and as confirmed by KFIN, our Registrar and Transfer Agent, the requisite quorum for the 7th AGM is present. As of now, the total number of members who have electronically joined the meeting is 39. Chairman, sir, you can start.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. So I declare the 7th AGM of the bank is in order. Since this meeting is conducted through electronic mode, no proxies are allowed to attend the meeting in accordance with the MCA General Circular number 14/2020 dated April 8, 2020. Pursuant to Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013, herein referred to as the Act, read with the relevant rules made thereunder, and Regulation 44 of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirements, Regulations 2015, hereafter referred to as the SEBI LODR, the bank has made arrangements for providing the facility to the shareholders to cast their vote electronically. In this regard, the bank has engaged the services of KFIN Technologies Private Limited, herein referred to as KFIN, for providing the platform to facilitate the shareholders to vote electronically, that is the e-voting facility. The remote e-voting period commenced on Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021 at 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time and ended on Thursday, August 5, 2021 at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The bank has also arranged for the e-voting facilities during the AGM, herein referred to as InstaPoll, for those members who have not yet cast their vote through remote e-voting, so as to enable them to exercise their voting rights. The InstaPoll will remain operational till all the resolutions proposed in the AGM notice are considered. Necessary arrangements in this regard has been made by the bank during this AGM. The facility to cast vote through InstaPoll will be made available on the video conferencing screen and will be activated once the InstaPoll is announced. The members who were holding equity shares of the bank as on Friday, July 30th, 2021, being the cutoff date, are eligible to participate through remote e-voting or InstaPoll for this AGM, and the voting rights would be in proportion to their equity holding as on the cutoff date, subject to the applicable provisions of the Banking Regulation Act 1949 as amended from time to time. The bank has appointed CS Deepak Kumar Khaitan, failing him, CS Shruti Singhania, practicing company secretary, to scrutinize the voting process in a fair and transparent manner. As informed earlier by the company secretary, the annual report of the bank for the financial year 2021 and the notice for this AGM have been sent through electronic mode to all those shareholders whose email IDs were registered with the bank, RTA, or the depositories in accordance with the provision of the Companies Act 2013 and the rules framed thereunder and the articles of association of the bank. With the permission of the members, I take the notice convening the 7th AGM of the bank as read. The objective of ordinary business is to comply with the statutory or regulatory requirements, and for special business, the objectives have been explained in the explanatory statements annexed to the notice convening this AGM. In terms of the provision of the Act and applicable regulations, the documents and other statutory registers as required are made available for electronic inspection to the members during the course of this AGM. I would now like to take this opportunity to address my dear shareholders with my perspective on the banking industry and overall economic conditions under which it operates. Dear shareholders, Managing Director and Directors, staff and management of Bandhan Bank, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to Bandhan Bank's 7th Annual General Meeting. At the outset, I wish that you and your loved ones are doing well and keeping safe during these unprecedented times. More than a year has passed since India imposed the first nationwide lockdown to check the curve of COVID-19 pandemic. This has been a period of trials and tribulations, with the government trying to achieve a delicate balance between lives and livelihoods. Just as the pandemic appeared to ebb and economic recovery started gaining momentum, India was caught in a major second wave with infections surging. However, it is heartening to see that the severity of the second wave has now subsided, yet no one knows for sure how long this pandemic will last. Amidst all the turmoil and uncertainty, there have been key learnings as well, and a ray of hope for the future is visible. The famous American poet Robert Frost had once said, and I quote, "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on." Unquote. We have all learned to live with the pandemic and adapt to the situation. People are going about their daily lives, following safety protocols, using masks, sanitizers, and practicing social distancing. Technology is being leveraged to work remotely and transact virtually. Multiple vaccines are now available in the country, and the drive to get people inoculated is gathering momentum as we speak. There has been no further nationwide lockdown, and localized restrictions in various states have also eased considerably. The Indian economy, which contracted by 7.3% in financial year 21, is expected to bounce back, and the Reserve Bank of India's RBI's forecast for GDP growth in financial year 22 stands at 9.5%. The impact of the second wave has, however, led to a downgrade from the 10.5 growth projected earlier. The final rate of economic growth for the current fiscal will depend on how an anticipated third wave of infections plays out and the speed with which the country can vaccinate a critical mass of its population. The Indian government and the RBI, through a range of counter-cyclical measures, which have aimed at providing liquidity support to the most vulnerable sections of people and businesses, have played a stellar role in ensuring that the economy and the financial system didn't spiral downwards. Through a slew of measures, including special liquidity windows and credit guarantee schemes, the Indian government has provided a stimulus of over 6 lakh crores to help the most vulnerable sections of society, namely the poor and the MSMEs. Special attention has been laid on close contact sectors such as tourism and hospitality. Realizing the need to rapidly augment the healthcare infrastructure in the country so as to deal with the current pandemic and any potential future health hazards, the government has sought to create a special liquidity window. This will aim at channeling debt funding for new hospitals and manufacturing of COVID and non-COVID related medical equipment. The government has also committed to increasing budgetary outlets towards healthcare going forward. But till such time that businesses gain their feet fully, the asset quality of banks and financial institutions is likely to remain under pressure. In its financial stability report published in July 2021, the RBI indicated that the gross NPAs of scheduled commercial banks may increase from 7.48% in March 2021 to 9.80% by March 2022 in the base case scenario. And this may even touch 11.22% in the eventuality of severe stress. The anticipated third wave and rising commodity prices fanning inflationary pressures will be key developments to watch out for in financial year 22. But as they say, the show must go on. Extending the benefit of formal financial services to the country's masses, especially at the bottom of the pyramid, is even more significant in the current times. Despite several on-ground operational challenges, the sheer dedication and commitment of your bank's employees have allowed the bank to grow its business even during a challenging year. During the previous financial year, your bank achieved and surpassed a milestone of having a total business of over rupees 1.50 lakh crore. Your bank remains well capitalized and equipped to pursue future growth opportunities while guarding against any temporary asset quality issues owing to the pandemic. Your bank has already articulated its vision for the next 5 years, which involves becoming a banker to cater to the needs of all Indians, whatever financial service they might require, wherever they may be based, and whichever mode of transaction they may prefer, physical or digital. While your bank continues to make a difference to people's lives through its suite of financial service offerings, I would like to make a special mention of the initiatives the bank has taken through its CSR arm to support communities in their fight against COVID, from creating new facilities for the treatment of COVID patients to spreading awareness about safety protocols in small towns and ensuring that necessary support reaches the vulnerable sections of society through the authorities. Significant work has been undertaken by the bank. Banking, as you know, is an essential service, and I feel proud to state that over 50,000 employees of the bank continue to work tirelessly through the pandemic to provide uninterrupted service to our customers. To enable this, the bank took several measures to ensure that the safety and well-being of employees, be it by way of vaccinating employees or tying up with leading healthcare service providers to make remote monitoring and home care services available for COVID-affected employees. Despite short-term challenges in the economy, your bank remains committed to provide inclusive banking for nation building and transforming with India and transforming for India. I would like to end by thanking you all, the shareholders of the bank, for being such a strong pillar of support and guidance. Our customers for the solid trust they reposed in the bank, and our management and employees for their relentless pursuit of excellence. Thank you very much. I now request the Managing Director and CEO of the bank, Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, to kindly give his address to the August gathering.
Dear shareholders, directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my privilege to welcome you all to Bandhan Bank's 7th annual general meeting. I hope all of you, your families, and loved ones are keeping safe and taking good care of your health. I would like to begin my address today by narrating the story of Kamala Sahu. Kamala lives in Raipur, Chhattisgarh, with her husband and the 2 children. She used to be a homemaker and her husband was a driver. Those the sole earnings were not enough to pull the household through. Determined to change her family's future, she took a loan from Bandhan Bank in 2012 to start a small grocery shop. Her husband also joined her business, and their hard work and determination saw their small stores grown into a large grocery shop, which currently stocks inventory worth rupees 5 lakhs and generates an income of rupees 35,000 per month. The pandemic, which took roots in India around March 2020, has not been kind to the economically weak, and Kamala was no exception. A nationwide lockdown, followed by local restriction on movement, impacted her grocery business as well. She realized the need to diversify and started a atta making unit next to her shop as essential, where in demanded even during the lockdown period. She applied and got a loan. After close the first loan, your bank to start from our bank to start the unit, which makes her feel more confident and secure about her future in these tough times. I am proud to report that despite the challenges along the way, your bank remains true to its commitment of inclusive banking and will continue to play a lead role in providing India's masses with access to formal financial services as India strives to become a $5 trillion economy. Handholding these the sections of India's vast population has become all the more crucial during the pandemic. The current crisis has again probed the inequality that exists in our society when it comes to human development. While our economic growth since liberalization has uplifted millions from the poverty, it has not been able to fully address these challenges. Inclusive banking, therefore, is needed now more than ever before. Financial year 21 has been a challenging year for the entire economy, since a country's economy performance has a direct bearing on its financial services sector. The year was a difficult one for the entire BFSI space as well. Yet, due to your bank's keen focus on business excellence and the commitment of its the over 50,000 employees, it registered a significant growth in the total business, crossing the milestone of 1,50,000 crore rupees and ended the year with the total business of rupees 1,65,000 crores, up 28% from the preceding fiscal year. In a short span of 6 years, our bank has succeeded in mobilizing deposits to the tune of close to rupees 78,000 crores, up 37% year on year. This reflects the strong goodwill that the bank enjoys with customers who trust us with their hard-earned money. Despite the subdued business activity, advances also growing 21% in the same period to over rupees 87,000 crores. CASA ratio was at its highest ever 43.38%, and retail to total deposit stood at 79%, reflecting the robust and granular franchise of your bank has become. The net interest income (NII) earned by your bank was at rupees 7,563 crores, up 19.6%, and operating profit grew by nearly 26% to 6,855 crore. The pandemic and resultant restriction meant that business were not fully operational. This had a bearing on asset quality. In Assam, the expectation of a debt relief package by the new government also led to a temporary drop in collection efficiency. As a measure of prudent banking and to strengthen the balance sheet, your bank took a total provision of rupees 3,900 crores during financial year 21. Consequently, while the pre-provisioning operating profit of your bank rose 26% to rupees 6,855 crores, the net profit declined by 27% year on year to rupees 2,205 crore. However, it was encouraging to note that 78% of the bank's NPA borrowers continued to make part or full payments. This is an indication of their intent to regularize their account as and when their business return to normal. In the long term, your bank remains confident about the quality of portfolio. With respect to the debt relief package in Assam, the state government was judiciously structured it in a way that will ensure long-term credit discipline even while providing relief to the citizens of the state during these difficult times. Your bank's 2.30 crore customers have experienced the benefit that access to formal financial services has brought to their lives and are conscious of the need to maintain a good credit record in order to continue benefiting from such services. This is evident from the bank's experience over the last 6 years. Previous events like demonetization, introduction of GST, floods, and cyclones that occurs in different Indian states each year have led to temporary business challenges in the past as well. But each time your bank has bounced back in quick time thanks to its inherent resilience. To further bolster this resilience and the future proof the organization, the bank has also embarked on an ambitious transformation agenda called Vision 2025. The key pillars of the transformation include diversifying the asset portfolio, diversifying the bank's geographical presence, and implementing cutting-edge digital and technology solutions to complement the bank's high-touch approach with a high-tech enablers. Through their years of association with the bank, many customers who availed group-based loans in the past have seen growth in their business and an improvement in their quality of lives. To further partner with the entrepreneurs in a holistic manner and fulfill their aspiration, your bank set up the Emerging Entrepreneurs Business EEB vertical in the September 2020. High vintage customers who are eligible to be treated as individual borrowers were migrated to individual loan. In the EEB portfolio, close to 11.4% of loan were shifted to individual loans, which now account for 7% of the total asset book. To achieve an optimum mix of secured and unsecured assets and leverage the robust liabilities franchise and branch network created over the years, the bank is focused on growing assets under commercial banking, such as SME loans and NBFC loans, and retail assets, including the gold loans, auto loans, and personal loans. The bank has initiated development of a new loan origination system for growing assets and is in the process of implementing cash management and trade services to cater to the diverse needs of commercial clients. The bank has hired top talent both at the senior management level as well as on the ground to provide a strategic direction to these newer businesses and help them grow over time while ensuring asset quality of the highest order. Your bank is focusing on further strengthening portfolio quality through improved the credit selection and improving the collection process. In new verticals like the retail assets, risk management is being optimized and the bank is benchmarking products to competitively price them in the market. Your bank is also leveraging predictive analytics to build scorecard and algorithm that will aid credit decisions. Alternate data sources and data science will help better credit selections, portfolio monitoring, and offer digital collection option, which will supplement existing channels. In addition to diversifying the asset portfolio, the bank is also working towards securing a more well-spread footprint across the country. During the year under review, your bank opened 751 new banking outlets, of which 622 were banking units. Only one of these banking units was in West Bengal. All others were in regions outside the East and Northeast. In terms of business growth as well, deposits grow at a faster pace of 48% in the rest of the country as compared to 29% in the East and Northeast. This is an indication of the customer's trust that your bank is receiving in newer market. To make these new products and services easily accessible to customers in a secure and convenient manner, your bank is also investing substantially in cutting-edge technology to strengthen the bank's core operations and build a world-class digital banking platform. Work is underway to build an in-house IT ecosystem comprising infrastructure, network, applications, data, and the security. Your bank also embarked upon setting up an enterprise data lake to harness the power of data to serve customers better through hyper-personalized offerings. The application stack of the bank is also being refreshed and the necessary infrastructure is being put in place to support current plans and future growth. The bank is also in process of curating a state-of-the-art digital banking and payments experience for our customers. Your bank has launched the New Plus Digital Savings Account, which will help customers open a savings account through a completely paperless and contactless process. Your bank has also launched a new contemporary website to reflect this transformation in progress and the digital first culture that the bank is adopting to achieve customer service excellence as well as operational efficiencies. It is not just its banking services through which Bandhan is making a difference to people's lives. Through the CSR implementing agency Bandhan Konnagar, the bank continued to strive towards uplifting peoples from poverty, helping them find employment, provide access to health care and education, and impact financial literacy. Through operations in 12 states and 180 districts, Bandhan Konnagar has reached out to close to 30 lakhs beneficiaries. To support the country's fight against the pandemic, Bandhan Konnagar converted the Kolkata Police Hospital into a state-of-the-art 300-bed hospital by renovating the entire facilities and putting the infrastructure in place. The bank's 11 training centers were offered to respective state governments for augmenting the capacity of COVID beds. Life-saving oxygen concentrators were procured and provided to the state of the West Bengal Assam, and Tripura. Awareness programs were run in small towns to educate the population about safe practices to the followed during the pandemic. The bank's staff went above and beyond their call of duty to help customers, not just with banking services, but with their medical needs and daily household requirement as well. I have always believed that your bank's human capital is its biggest asset. I would like to thank them and their families for the dedication they have shown towards the organization's purpose, even during these difficult times. I would also like to comment the bank's HR function to working tirelessly to ensure the overall health and well-being of the employees. From vaccination drives to remote healthcare assistance for COVID affected employees. They have ensured that we continue to serve our customers without interruption. Swami Vivekananda once said, rise, awake, and do not stop until the goal is not reached. The goal before the country today is to unite and win the fight against COVID-19 and ensure the welfare of all its citizens in the post-pandemic world. The goal before your bank is to support the country in this crusade and transform itself appropriately to be at the forefront of this change. I sincerely thank our shareholders, employees, investors, regulators, and the people of India for their constant guidance and support. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghosh. Uh, the report of the statutory auditors on the audited financial statements of the bank for the financial year ended March 31, 2021, does not contain any qualifications, observations, or comments or other remarks which may have any adverse effect on the functioning of the bank. The report of the secretarial auditors for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021, does not contain any qualifications, reservations, or other remarks which may have any adverse effect on the functioning of the bank. The audited balance sheet of the bank as on March 31st, 2021, and the statement of profit and loss for the year ended on that date, along with the reports of the auditor and the directors thereon, are already available with members. With your permission, the same are taken as read. Now, may I call upon the members of the bank to put up their queries, if any, relating to the audited financial statements of the bank for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021, and the reports thereon, and any items of business proposed in the notice convening this AGM in particular. Only the members who have registered themselves as speaker, as stated in the notice of this AGM, shall, after the announcement of their name, be unmuted by the moderator to speak. I would also like to request you to restrict your questions only to the agendas that are being dealt with in this meeting and to avoid repetition of questions. I request the speakers to complete their queries and speech within 3 minutes so that all speakers get a chance to speak. Answers to the questions will be provided once all speakers complete asking their questions. Now I request the company secretary or the moderator to announce the names of the speakers one by one who have registered themselves as speakers for the AGM.
Mr. Moderator, can you please unmute the speakers in the sequence they have registered and allow them to speak?
Sure, sir. I request the first speaker, Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak. Mr. Rashid Kumar, you have unmuted yourself and muted again, sir. Kindly unmute yourself. Click on the red color button at the bottom to unmute yourself and proceed with your question.
Am I audible, sir? Am I audible, sir?
You're audible, sir.
Thank
Please
you.
proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. A very good morning. At first, my best wishes for good health, happiness, and prosperity to respected chairman, respected MD, board of directors, core management teams, company secretary, staff, fellow members present at video conference of the 7th AGM of Bandhan Bank Limited. My name is Ashit Kumar Pathak from Bandhan, Kolkata. At first, my esteemed gratitude to Mr. Indranil Banerjee, Company Secretary, and Secretarial Department for sending me notice of the 7th AGM and annual report financial year 2021 very well in advance. And thanks to KFinTech Private Limited for nicely conducting speaker registration and the voting process. Also thanks to NSDL and CDSL also. Sir, I also casted my votes for 12 resolutions by e-voting in favor of all resolutions. But sir, at first, I am sorry to say that I had mailed for the hard copy of annual report financial year 2021 very early to investors at the rate bandhanbank.com on 14th July 2021, 12:34 p.m. So till today, there is no feedback from investor side. Sir, my second view is excellent presentation from respected chairman and MD about CSR activities. Bandhan Karnagar, excellent initiative, and thanks for their management team. In this pandemic situation, their excellent contribution in CSR activities. My first view is the business mix retail loan, only 1.4% mentioned, comparatively other business portfolios. Because retail business market is very strong viability in my view. So this to be noted to enhance the retail mix. Financial performance, all parameters is very, very nice, no doubt. But some NPA, gross NPA, EPS also profit after tax also impacted due to pandemic. This is no doubt, but there is still operation. Hello, and sir, what is the strategies vision 2025 for enhancing the capital adequacy ratio, asset quality, products geographical diversification, reducing of NPO, and technology digital transformation, and mostly rewarding to members? If possible, for some highlights.
Kindly wrap up your question, sir. Thank you.
Only two points I am sharing. RBI fined my bank over loans to NBFC, non-compliance with certain provisional on lending to NBS. To fail the RBI directions, creating central repository. If possible, throw some highlights. And cyber security, what initiative my bank taken. And also there is some Citibank campaign personal loan by will to government employees, any initiative our bank also taken. And HITCO conducted lottery on 3rd August and 4th August to allot 400 HIG and MIG flats. My bank also taken initiative in this segment because the housing finance exposure 20,230 crore mentioned, and government plans to raise 720 crore by offloading 8% stake of HATCO. If our bank has special initiative in this, finally, RBI some microfinance rules for banks and NBFCs has proposed to remove the pricing restriction for microfinance institutional. If possible, throw some highlight this initiative. And by ABSR report, respected chairman also mentioned, I have no question about it. And finally, expected enhanced financial performance mostly in rural sector by digitalizations there. That is mostly require digital banking in rural sector. This is my suggestion. God bless to everybody associated to Bandhan Bank Limited. Pranam, sir.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar from Kolkata. We request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar.
Yes. Doing that. 1 minute. What happened? 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Hi, respected Mr. Sinha, CEO Mr. Ghosh, and other directors of the bank. Nice to see all of you in good health and spirit. Myself, Tamal Kumar Majumdar, an equity shareholder from Kolkata. Sir, thank you, Mr. Sinha, for sharing your thoughts with us. Mr. Ghosh's speech was from his heart. He started it with the X-ray incident and talked on several aspects of the bank. Before asking any question, I have one request to you. The caffeine has a tendency of disconnecting the lines, and I'm noticing it for the last couple of this year also 2 times it happened. Shareholders used to meet for a day. During the next 64 days is yours. So if you are not allowing your shareholders to share their thoughts, it's very painful. In HDFC Bank, it happened, but due to the management intervention, I was again reconnected. In Mahindra Lifespace, this thing happened, and Arun Nanda personally called me whether I want to reconnection. I hope, Mr. Sinha, this will not happen in this meeting also. And I'm assuring you, I will concentrate on the annual reports only, nothing more than that. And so, considering the COVID pandemic, our bank's financial results for 2020-21 is really praiseworthy. Due to huge booking of amount on contingencies and provision during financial year 21, from 2,423 crores to 4,656 crores in financial year 21, PBT decreased to 2,205 crores from 3,023 crores. In Q1 of financial 21-22, the same trend continues, negative trend continues. PBT decreased to rupees 496 crores against 795 crores 1 year ago, that is in Q1 of financial year 21. Sir, would you please share with us your expectation for the remaining part of the year? Sir, the statutory auditor put the impact on COVID pandemic uncertainties under emphasis of matter. For financial year 21 as well as Q1 of financial year 22, the bank management during Q1 of financial year 22 provided additional provision of 751 crores for potential impact of COVID in addition to its accelerated provision of 323 crores as on 30th June 2021. Would you believe that due to second wave and ensuing third wave of COVID, our asset quality will deteriorate further, or our bank management will be able to cope with it successfully with the above mentioned provision? Please share your thoughts in this regard, sir. Sir, as per segment result in page 185, though retail banking contributed more than half of the segmental profit, that is 1,737 crores during financial year 21, which was much lesser than 3,276 crores during financial year 2020. Treasury segment's contribution is better at 867 crores in comparison to 611 crores during financial year 20. And sir, in Q1 financial year 21 also, retail segment declared a profit without considering unallocables of only 38 crores against 356 crores in Q1 of financial year 2021. Treasury income increased its profits to 380 crores. And it is to be noted here that the first 2 months of Q1 of financial year 22 was under lockdown. In addition to that, in terms of collection efficiency and NPA customers, payment pattern, Assam is really a matter of worry. Mr. MD, Mr. Ghosh, you also mentioned the matter, and you said the debt relief package is imminent in comparison to West Bengal and rest of India figure. And would you please share your thoughts in respect of the above matters, disclosing current collection status of West Bengal, Assam, and rest of the India separately? Whether the bank took any corrective measure in this regard, and what is their expectation from the remaining part of the year? Sir, it appears that the management intention is to have a limited presence and exposure in corporate banking and remain committed to retail banking, which is its main source of income. And when you are talking about Vision 25, what is its position? What will be the position of corporate banking in your Vision 25? And sir, it is nice to note that CASA deposit increased by a
In the
whopping
interest of time, we kindly request you
No,
to wrap up
sorry,
your
sorry,
questions.
I already mentioned it. I already mentioned it. It is your habit to disconnect my line. It is your habit. I attended HDFC Bank also. You did the same thing, and the line was reconnected.
Other people also, the other people.
No, I think then you should not allow anybody. Whether I am talking any bullshit, I am talking from the annual report. Whether I am saying
Everyone. Ask him to say.
this is totally unfair. This is totally unfair.
You are now muted.
You have 23 cases, 364 days, but you are not allowing one shareholder to share for 10 minutes.
Sir, the stipulated time given to every shareholder is 3 minutes.
No,
We request you to wrap up.
Sir, please.
If Chairman Sir permits you, we will allow you to continue to speak, sir. Thank you.
Then it is up to Chairman. It is up to Chairman what to do. I am waiting for his approval.
Tamal Babu, could you please finish by around 2 minutes? Because there are other people. It will not be fair on them.
It is
We
better.
are rationing out time.
It is better to conclude, sir. Sir, I am attending different meetings for 20 years. And in HDFC, in Tata, they never used to do that.
Sir, tell me,
But when
how
you are
long
saying-
do you intend to
think
take?
I am within 5 minutes. I am going to conclude.
5 minutes? All right. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Maximum 5
But
minutes.
please finish within 5 minutes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Sir, it is nice to note that CASA deposit increased by 61% during financial year 21 in comparison to financial year 20. And the positive trend continues in Q1 of financial year 22 also. And it increased to 47.7% on the total deposits. What is the trend during the current year, and what is your expectation? And the bank manager mentioned last year that they have been able to reduce the funding through bulk term deposits and by reducing it with real retail deposits. But the real picture is not the same. As per page 135 of the annual report, amount of bulk term deposit increased from 12,312 crores in financial year 21 to 16,539 crores. So depending on bulk deposit is a risky affair. And for your information, DCB Bank already stopped it. What is your thinking in this regard? And what is your thinking in decreasing the numbers? And sir, whether the bulk deposit includes any amount received from the promoter group. If the reply is in the right direction, then figures to be given. And sir, as regards A is concerned, a housing loan, you actually added only 125 branches of your bank for the housing loan, and your contribution is nearly more than 20,000 odd figures. Why you are not actually adding all the branches to aggressively give house building loans? And what is your thinking in this regard? And sir, bank has 1,147 branch, 4,163 banking units, and only 5 branches, and only 485 numbers of ATM. Why the bank is not taking steps to increase the ATMs for the benefit of its depositors? I want to know your view in this regard and the branch opening strategy for the remaining part of the year. Sir, Caladium investment, where Mr. Holgar is the director, has an investment of 7.79%. Then when HDFC has a holding of 9.9%, whether they asked for any appointment in the board. Because Caladium, with its investment of 7.79%, got a board position. What about HDFC? Whether they asked, or you are not interested in giving them a board position. And sir, in priority sector, our cost to income further decreased to 29.13% from financial year 21 from 30.82%. But return on average net worth decreased substantially to 13.24% in financial year 21. And what is your expectation in this regard during the current year? Sir, you talked about CSR by, but what I noted, the only one meeting held during the last year, only one meeting of the CSR committee. When you are passionate in this regard and you are talking about Konnagar branch and so many things, then why one meeting was held only? And there was unspent amount of 10 crores, more than 10 crores, 10.27 crores. I think you will look into it and take appropriate corrective measure in this regard. And sir, whether mustard curve band by RBI will hit our bank also, please share your thoughts in this respect and its impact on our financials. And sir, only last question regarding frauds. Though the number of frauds was at 211, last year it was 213, but the amount involved net of recovery increased by 4 times. Last year it was only 7.67 crores. It increased to a 34.17 crores during the current year. This trend for a new bank whose age is only 5 years, 7 years, is not at all a good sign. What steps the bank has taken to stem the rot? What about software upgradation for early detection of frauds? And whether the bank has taken steps against its officials, employees for such measures? Thank you all for patience here.
Please, Gatam. How long?
Mr. Moderator, can you announce the next name, please?
We request the next speaker, Mr. Chandravati Gathani, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Chandravati Gathani. We have not received any feedback from the speaker, sir. With your permission, moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta. Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Gupta. I am equity shareholder of Bandhan Bank Limited. So can you hear me? Hello?
You're audible, sir. Please proceed, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I am respected Chairman, Board of Directors, especially to our MD, Mr. C.S. Ghosh, who has created a history in the Bengal to launch a Bandhan Bank on the name of Bandhan Bank and gives a job to this region, young youths to join the Bandhan Bank to serve the peoples. And sir, I thanks to the company secretary and his team to help us join this meeting through VC. And I salute to all bank staffs who has served the pupils during serve the pupils during this epidemic COVID in the banking time without care their life and their families members. So I salute them, and my best wishes are with them. They have done a very good. And sir, B word is very suitable for Bengal. B for Bandhan, B for Bata, B for Berger, B for Britannia, B for Bengal Waterproof. So our MD has created a history to launch on the name of B. B word. Our Chief Minister is also taking steps to change the change the name of state from West Bengal to Bengal. So B word very suitable for the B of this state, sir. And sir, why not a Bandhan house like as a SDF house, ICICI house, DCB house? Why not a Bandhan house in the new town or in the sector 5? There should be a Bandhan house. Bandhan means a very lovely name and very good name. Bandhan hai pyar ka matlab. So there should be you approach the government to give you a plot to create a Bandhan house in the sector 5, sir. And sir, you are running 1147 branches and 500 bank outlets, which is how many which is giving more turnover. Best profitable branch, which is the best profitable branch. And dividend, I thanks to you that this year you have considered that dividend. Last year, due to RBI guideline, you can't declare the dividend. CSR, I will not say single word on CSR. I totally inspired and very happy to know about the story of Kamla of Raipur by MD in his opening remarks. How she inspired the family to be a businesswoman in Raipur to take the loan from Bandhan Bank. Now she runs a big grocery shop and atta mill in Raipur to get loan from your bank, sir. Such type of help should be anyone by the bank should be continue. That any person approach to you to be self-dependent, that banks should give help them. And what impact come through monetarium on our bank? And what is the view on your monetarium? Because Supreme Court also accept the monetarium. So how much amount is involved in monetarium of our bank? Because everyone has approached the Supreme Court to get relief through monetarium, which is declared by the Union Finance Ministry in the first wave of COVID in 2020, sir. And sir, I suggest you that don't take any hard action against the small borrowers, like on their car and house installments. If they fail in this epidemic time to pay EMI, don't take any hard action against them. Take hard action against them on the commercial borrowers. Those are misusing the funds on their luxury lives, but don't take any common man and middle class people on their default in the And sir, what's your future outlook for next 5 years of the private banks? Several banks will come in the pipeline. So what's your future outlook for next 3 to 5 years? And sir, what is your view on the Assam and Bengal? Do not forget about the rest of India. We want to your concrete reply on the Assam and Bengal. And sir, try
Yes, sir,
to
we kindly request you to
just
wrap up
1
your
minute,
questions.
just 1 minute, just 1 minute. Just try to spread the wings of housing loan and float a new company under the Bandhan Bank of for housing loan. And I will not say about the frauds in these circumstances. Fraud, take a hard action, file a FIR, and ask the concerned department to take hard action against the pupils. Those are culprit in these cases. Last but least, I support all the resolution and I thank the company secretary. Just spread the wings of Bandhan Bank in the country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and west to east, sir. Thank you, sir.
We request the next speaker, Mr. Gautam Nandi, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, sir. Mr. Gautam.
Am I audible, sir?
You're audible, sir. Please proceed with the question.
Sir, good morning and namaskar. Respected Chairman, Board of Directors, and my online fellow shareholders. Myself, Gautam Nandi of Kolkata, equity shareholder of Bandhan Bank Limited from the IPO. Sir, firstly, I'd like to give thanks to your secretarial department for sending me annual report and other necessary relevant papers through email, well in advance. So specially thanks to our respected company secretary, Mr. Indranil Banerjee, very sober and most dynamic person, and his whole team for rendering very good services to our minority shareholders. Sir, you are organizing your AGM through video conference for the second time, and I find it is a grand success. So thanks again, sir. Sir, my earlier speakers already expressed their views and covered most of the points regarding your accounts and performance of our bank. Therefore, I don't like to repeat as per your guideline. Sir, a few years back, we had faced two big giants, we all know, GST and demonetization. Sir, ये दोनों का इफेक्ट खत्म होते ना होते लास्ट ईयर हम लोगों को कोविड-19 का फर्स्ट फेज अटैक किया एंड नाउ थर्ड फेज ऑफ कोविड-19 is going on. Each and every bank is suffering very much. But I am very glad to see that despite a tough pandemic and most challenging year, you are trying your best Sir, I must appreciate it. Sir, we are very proud to see you always take care of our minority shareholders. Sir, only good performance होने से ही एक बैंक अच्छा नहीं हो जाते हैं। ভালো ব্যাংক বা সর্বাঙ্গ সুন্দর ব্যাংক আমরা তখনই বলি স্যার যখন পারফরমেন্সের সঙ্গে ভালো ব্যবহার যুক্ত হয়, যেটা আপনার ব্যাংকের 100% আছে স্যার। স্যার, আমি ব্যক্তিগতভাবে একটা কথা বলতে পারি, আমার পুরো জীবনের সঞ্চয়ের একটা বড় অংশই আমার পাড়ার বন্ধন ব্যাংক কাকুরগাছি ব্রাঞ্চে রেখেছি। স্যার, আমি যখনই এই ব্রাঞ্চে যাই স্যার এত সুন্দর ব্যবহার পাই যে কি বলবো। স্যার, কাকুরগাছি ব্রাঞ্চ হেড যিনি আছেন মিস্টার বিশান দাস, তারপর আপনার অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট ব্রাঞ্চ হেড কৌমুদি ঘোষ ম্যাডাম আছেন, তারপর কাস্টমার রিলেশন অফিসার মিস্টার রবিউল আলম আছেন এবং অন্যান্য স্টাফেরা এত সুন্দর ব্যবহার করে যে মনে হয় এটা ব্যাংক নয় স্যার। স্যার, আমি আমার ফ্যামিলির মধ্যে রয়েছি, আমি আমার পরিবারের মধ্যে রয়েছি স্যার। So I must give my hearty thanks to each and every employee of your bank for their good gesture, good behavior and good hospitality, sir. Sir, I am very proud to be a shareholder of your bank and I am very hopeful towards the prospect of our bank. Sir, I have full trust with our strong management and so I wholeheartedly support your all resolutions, sir. Sir, nothing to say more today. Looking forward with a positive outlook towards our bank with good return and handsome dividend. Sir, may God bless you. Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
We request our next speaker, Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf.
हाँ जी, नमस्कार। 1 minute सर, I starting सर। सर कैमरा अलाउ करिए। हाँ ठीक, ओके। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, उपस्थित निधि सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयरहोल्डर भाइयों बहनों, मैं संतोष कुमार सराफ कलकत्ता से बोल रहा हूं सर। सर्वप्रथम आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार सर। आशा करता हूं आप जितने हमारे डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी हमारे मैनेजर स्टाफ हैं और जितने भी हमारे एम्प्लॉई हैं वह इस कोविड के अंदर में सुरक्षित और स्वस्थ होगी। सर कैमरा आपने होस्ट ने मेरा काट दिया है, उनको बोलिए सर कैमरा देने के लिए अच्छा रहेगा।
Your camera is still allowed, sir, but your connection seems to be a little weak today.
No, sir, no, my connection is very good because I have 5G connection, so please allow me. Okay, sir. तो सर बात है कि आशा करता हूँ आप सब जितने भी हमारे डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी हमारे कर्मचारी और जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर हैं वह इस कोविड के अंदर में सुरक्षित और स्वस्थ होगी सर। मैं संतोष कुमार सराफ कलकत्ता बोल रहा हूँ सर। एक आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा आपको सेक्रेटरी को, उन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा काम किया है, उसके लिए भी मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा सर। एक सर मेरे को 1-2 चीज़ मेरे को पूछनी है कि अभी कोविड की 3rd वेव आने लग गई है सर। केरला और महाराष्ट्र में एंट्री कर चुकी है दिन पर दिन केस बढ़, तो इसके लिए आप क्या स्टेप उठा रहे हैं जिससे अपने कंपनी के ऑपरेशन के ऊपर और इनकम के ऊपर कम से कम इफेक्ट हो। कॉस्ट कटिंग के बारे में अपने क्या स्टेप उठाएं इसके बारे में बताने का कष्ट करिएगा सर। एक अपने सर ये है कि फ्यूचर अपने इस साल कितने नए बैंक ऐड किए हैं, ब्रांचेज कितने खोले हैं और कितने नए एम्प्लॉय अपने ऐड किए हैं, इसके बारे में बताने का कष्ट करिएगा सर। एक कष्ट करिएगा सर बताने का कि अपने कितने एम्प्लॉय अपने इस कोविड के अंदर में अफेक्ट होके अपने को छोड़ के चले गए हैं, तो उनका भी फिगर हो तो आपके बताने का करिएगा। और ऐसा फिगर तो मैं भगवान उनकी आत्मा के लिए वहाँ से प्रार्थना करता हूँ, उनको शांति दे और उनके फैमिली को शांति दे, हिम्मत दे और इस कष्ट की पीरियड में उनको निकलने के लिए ये प्रदान करें सर। एक सर मेरे को बताइएगा आपने कितने कर्मचारी हैं जिनको वैक्सीन लग चुकी है, उनकी फैमिली को कितने परसेंटेज एम्प्लॉय अपने उनके जिनको वैक्सीन लग चुकी है, किसी को सिंगल या डबल सर, ये बताने का कष्ट करिएगा सर। और सर ये बताने का भी कष्ट करिएगा कि उन्होंने किसी ने अगर प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में वैक्सीन लगवाई है तो उसका खर्चा आपने क्या रीसम्बर किया है, तो उसके बारे में बताने चाहिए। एक सर अपने कितने परसेंट एम्प्लॉय एट प्रेजेंट में वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं सर, और जो वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं सर उनको क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड की है, इसके बताइए सर। मैं 1 मिनट में खत्म कर रहा हूँ जस्ट। इसके बारे में बताने का कष्ट करिएगा सर। और सर मुझे बताने का कष्ट करिएगा अपने ये जो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के बारे में, जो अपनी ब्रांचेज हैं वहाँ पर अगर अपनी खुद की बिल्डिंग है तो उनकी छत पे क्या आपने सोलर पैनल लगाने की व्यवस्था की है जिससे हमें बिजली मिले और हम रिन्यूएबल। एक सर ये जो अपने रेन वाटर के लिए क्या आपने व्यवस्था की अपनी बिल्डिंग के अंदर में कि उनका हार्वेस्ट करें और उसको फिर रिसाइकलिंग करके रीयूज किया जाए, इसकी व्यवस्था आपने की है कि नहीं की है, जिससे हमें फ्रेश वाटर का यूज कम हो सर। और ज़्यादा मैं समय नहीं लूँगा सर, भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ बैंक इसी से आगे बढ़े। सर लास्ट मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी, ये वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग काफ़ी अच्छी होती है सर। देखिए अभी बरसात के मौसम में मैं आपसे वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग कंडक्ट कर रहा हूँ। मैं जिस तरीके आज सुबह बरसात हुई शायद हॉल में जाके मीटिंग अटेंड करना पॉसिबल नहीं होता, इसलिए हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट सर, अगर आप फिजिकल मीटिंग भी करते हैं तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग अवश्य रखें, जिससे हम आप और विशेषकर हमारे उम्र वाले आदमी जो है शेयर होल्डर आपसे बात कर सके, अपने दिल की भावना प्रकट कर सकें। मैं समय नहीं लेते हुए आपसे तो अच्छे स्वास्थ्य की कामना करता हूँ। जितने भी हमारे डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी हमारे एम्प्लॉई हैं और जितने भी हमारे स्टेक होल्डर और क्लाइंट हैं, उनसे भगवान से अखबार करता हूँ 2021 फाइनेंशियल उनके लिए हेल्दी वेल्दी और सेफ हो और हैप्पीनेस के साथ भर्ती जो है, यही प्रार्थना करते हुए मैं वक्तव्य समाप्त हूँ। जय हिंद, जय भारत, नमस्कार सर आप सभी को। मेरा खत्म हो गया सर मेरा।
We request our next speaker, Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Which shareholder?
Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee. Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. We have not received any feedback from the speaker, sir.
No, you see, my name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. I'm speaking,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, you are right now audible, sir. Please proceed.
And the video, maybe. Anyhow.
Yeah, your video is also fine. Please proceed, sir. Thank you.
Good noon to everyone. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee from the city of Calcutta. Respected chairman of the meeting, other board members present on such occasion through video conferencing, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak such a wonderful meeting today organized by our bank. It is our 7th annual meeting of the Bandhan Bank. As regards the performance is concerned, it is very nice, good growth, total income about 9,672 crores increased, total deposit also grew about 36.6%, total advance also grew up 21.1% during this year as visible in the balance sheet under review. Though, of course, the net profit comes down about 2205 in comparison with the last year, 3,074 crores. But our bank is a very good, come up with a dividend paying list, proposed dividend rupees 1, 10%, current market share about 307.25 is the today's price about. Yes, CA ratio is also well above the minimum regulatory requirements of 10.875%. It is also good noted that mutual funds have increased holding from 1.78% to 1.86%. Yes, foreign institutional investments have also increased, definitely holding their 36.81% to 37.41%. So kindly share about the issue last 2 years about the NPA recovery, how much it is. As regards the CSR activities also, yes, it is very good. about 51 crores contributed, but it appears, sir, that all such made at Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Karnataka, but not at West Bengal, though where our bank's register office is there. Kindly keep attention over there also, sir. I hope our bank will perform much profitability near future, will able to maintain capital adequacy, asset quality, relevant technology, and will expand into a new high. Keeping in mind, sir, the benefit
wrap up your question in the interest of time,
the
sir.
minority shareholders. Lastly, I thank all the team members conducting such smooth video conferencing today. Thank you. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. Over to you, sir, for further.
We request our next speaker, Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar. We have not received any feedback from the speaker, sir. With the permission, moving on to the next speaker. Mr. Kirti Shah. Mr. Kirti Shah, I request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Kirti Shah. Mr. Kirti Shah is at this point of time not present in the meeting, sir. Moving on to your next speaker. Ms. Celestine Elizabeth Mascarenhas from Mumbai. Ms. Celestine Mascarenhas from Mumbai, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Rupesh Suryakant Shah. Mr. Rupesh, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Hello.
Mr. Rupesh Suryakant. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hello.
Please proceed with your question.
हेलो, मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Please proceed with your question.
ओके, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू चेयरमैन सर और बोर्ड के सभी में। मेरा नाम रुपेश शाह है सर, मैं अहमदाबाद से हूँ सर। हमें साल में एक बार बोलने का मौका मिलता है आपके सामने। आपके सामने कोई सजेशन क्वेरी पूछ सकते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है
सर मैं
हेलो हेलो
Mr. Rupesh, please proceed with your question, sir. Mr. Bimal, kindly be on hold. Mr. Rupesh, please proceed with your question.
ओके,
Thank you.
तो मुझे लगता है कि हेलो, मेरा आवाज आ रही है सर? मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
You are now muted.
Yes, sir, you're
Hello.
audible. Please proceed.
तो मुझे लगता है कि आगे एक शेयर होल्डर को बोलने के लिए रोका गया था कि फिनटेक की तरफ से। सर, ये नहीं होना चाहिए सर। सर, आपको हमने 1 घंटे तक सुना, तो फिर शेयर होल्डर के लिए 3 मिनट क्यों? मुझे लगता है कि हमें कोई दूसरे भी सर्विस, बहुत सारी सर्विस है कि फिनटेक की तरह से, तो अपने दूसरी जगह से सर्विस लेनी चाहिए सर। सर, मेरी आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि जब तक मैं अपनी कंपनी का शेयर होल्डर हूं, तब तक मुझे हर साल विदाउट रिमाइंडर बैलेंस शीट और सब्सिडरीज बैलेंस शीट हार्ड कॉपी में भेज दी जाए। सर, इस साल का अपना परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा नहीं रहा, जैसे कि प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स कम हुआ है और नेट एनपीए 7 गुना बढ़ी है सर। ये अपनी बैंक के लिए अच्छी बात नहीं है सर। अपनी बैलेंस शीट में ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग की बात हुई है। अपना परफॉर्मेंस देखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि पहले बोर्ड में ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग लाने की जरूरत है। जब मैं ग्रुप फाइनेंस का शेयर होल्डर था, तब सुदीन चौकसी सर की लीडरशिप में कंपनी का परफॉर्मेंस साल दर साल अच्छा रहता था। उससे शेयर होल्डर की में भी बढ़ोतरी होती थी सर। मुझे लगता है कि हमको उनके जैसे लीडर की बोर्ड में जरूरत है, उन लाना चाहिए हमें, जिससे अपना परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा हो और अपनी बैंक नई ऊंचाइयों को सर करे। सर, हमने सीएसआर एक्टिविटी में हेल्थ, एजुकेशन, एम्प्लॉइंग में काम किया है सर, बहुत अच्छी बात है सर। लेकिन सभी एक्टिविटी एजेंसी थ्रू हुई है सर। मेरा मानना है कि ये सभी एक्टिविटी हमें डायरेक्ट करनी चाहिए सर, और ये सभी एक्टिविटी के पिक्चर बैलेंस शीट में देने चाहिए। ऐसा मेरा सजेशन है सर। सर, लास्ट में मुझे टॉप 20 एनपीए का अकाउंट की डिटेल चाहिए। अभी हो तो मुझे दे सकते हो, नहीं तो बाद में राइटिंग में भेज देना। थैंक यू सर।
We request our next speaker, Mr. Sisira Kumar Mishra, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Our earlier speaker who has joined the meeting, Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera.
नहीं हो रहा है ना ये
Please proceed, sir. Thank you. Mr. Bimal, please proceed with your question, sir. You have muted yourself again. Kindly unmute yourself and speak.
Sir.
Mr. Bimal, kindly do not click on the red color button while you're talking. Please proceed with your question, sir.
रेड कलर बटन दबाते हैं तो अनम्यूट नहीं हो रहा है।
No, you're audible now, sir. Please proceed. Please proceed.
अच्छा, ऑडियो। माननीय सभापति और एमडी साहेब चंद्रशेखर घोष एवं अन्यान्य पदाधिकारी।
Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, you have muted yourself again. Please unmute yourself. Do not click on the red color button while speaking. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, please proceed with your question.
Hello?
You're audible, sir. Do not mute yourself.
Audible, हाँ। माननीय सभापति उपस्थित और अन्यान्य सब पदाधिकारीबृंद, सर আমি কোম্পানি সেক্রেটারি এবং কোম্পানি আগে থেকেই পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছেন আমার।
Due to the connectivity problem with the speaker, we are moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Singh from Pune. Mr. Rakesh Kumar, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. We request our next speaker, Mr. Ronak Praful Chedda, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Ronak Praful Chedda, please click on the red color button to proceed with the question, sir.
Yeah, I'm audible, right?
You're audible, sir. Please proceed. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, I had a few questions. We have recently reduced our savings bank account interest. So just wanted to understand what would be the proportion of our savings bank account balances where the average balance is less than 1 lakh for the customer or about 10 lakhs. And a follow-up to this is, are we seeing any pressure on CASA growth due to this lowering of interest rates going forward? My next question is, sir, as mentioned in the annual report, management wishes to move a good portion of its book in West Bengal and Assam to individual loans over next 2 years. So just wanted to get a sense on how the the cost structure is different from the JLM model. Does it benefit us or the cost goes up due to this shift in the model? And how is the credit cost for the individual loan book versus the JLM currently? So my next question is, I just wanted to get a sense on the Group Finance book which we acquired. How is the growth in the core markets of the erstwhile Group? Are we growing at a similar or a higher growth rate in those markets or versus the core markets of Bandhan, which is east and northeast? Just wanted to get a sense of that on the growth rate. And sir, my last question is, our cost of borrowing is around 6%. Obviously, this is bound to go down. But does that make it difficult for our bank to grow aggressively versus these large PSU banks in the housing loans? And what is the competition and how is the competition, for us in this housing loans comparatively? These are my 4 questions. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. We move on to the next speaker, Mr. Abhishek J from Chennai. Mr. Abhishek, we request you to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. Mr. Abhishek, you have joined in listen-only mode, sir. Kindly consider rejoining the session so that you'll be able to get your microphone option. We'll again give you a chance. Please try to log in back. Moving on to the next speaker, meanwhile, Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal. Mr. Vinod, we request you to unmute your audio, your camera, and ask your question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're audible, sir, but
Yes, sir, my name is Vinod Agarwal. I'm speaking from Mumbai. So I've got two or three very suggestions, sir. First, if Tamal Kumar and the other people who want more than 3 minutes, let them write an email to you, sir. They've got so many queries, sir. We people coming at the end, our time goes in front of the screen by more than half an hour extra. Like,
Hello.
minutes, a lot of 3 minutes should be there for them, everyone. It is not that I'm asking you to, for 5 minutes or something. Let 3 minutes be the standard prescription. It cannot be that someone is asking 10 minutes, he'll keep on repeating on 10 minutes. He should go and send emails if he's got a lot of queries. You can answer to the emails. It can't be that 10 minutes someone is taking up from the people coming at the end. We have to sit in front of the screen for more than an hour. So now one or two queries are emerging. Sir, you said that due to Assam politicians, loan waivers are there, and due to COVID, even in Bengal, there was a sharp decline in your collection. So I would also like to know, are people who have given you, to whom you have given loans, died due to COVID or due to the violence post the elections in Bengal? Is any of your loan takers being missing, so, or been that deaths on that account, sir, due to COVID deaths and this thing, sir? Sir, you employed 17,500 people last year, and 50,000 people you already had. So, what is the attrition rate among your employees of this 50,000 and 17,000 people, 500 people that you employed, sir? And sir, during the past 5 years, your this thing is NP has been increased, your GNP has increased, your car has come down, your NIM margins have come down. What is the strategy to going forward to increase the provisions you made? 3,900 rupees has seriously impacted your profits last year. Now, when will this recovery of this provisions come back to us? It's a provision. Provisions are likely to come back if the people for whom you made provisions start paying up. By when can we expect this to come back? Sir, your EPS this year was 13.7 rupees, and last year it was 18.7 rupees. So totaling it's about 31 rupees EPS for the past 2 years. And last year the dividend was not allowed to be paid by the RBI diktat. Now with this, even on the 13 rupees, you are paying only 1 rupee dividend, which is very low. We the shareholders used to get much higher dividend earlier, even from Guru, where we migrated from. Our dividend income used to be much higher than what it is from you. 1 rupee on this thing is very low. On 31 rupees of the 2 years, it is a very low dividend yield. I hope you'll look into this and declare some special dividend for us, interim special dividend. So I'd like to know what is the default rate at present of 30 days in MFIs and 90 days plus in the MSME sector that you advanced to. Sir, and you have launching a lot of technology into your bank, sir. I like to know what is the making it tech enabled. You with tech enabled, you will be giving a lot of your people, your employees also certain things to work from home and on field technologies to go and meet customers. So what will be the firewalls created so that no hacking takes place? Now even in America, certain very big companies have been hacked. If a bank is hacked into, it will be a very big issue. Like you'll have to create firewalls into this tech. You'll have to tell the people to make firewalls in the tech. Sir, last year you sold 4,000 of your priority sector loans to other banks which had not been able to meet the private sector lending bank 40% of their targets. You have sold to them. What was the profit or what is the gain to our bank by selling this 74,000 crores of priority sector loans to other banks that we have sold? Sir, and rest is okay, sir. I'm signing off. Vinod Agarwal from Bombay. I request that next year onwards, anyone who has got long queries, please email. Do not take up other people who are coming at the end of the time, or ask the moderator, just cut them off. It cannot be that we have to wait for 1 hour extra just because someone wants to make 10-minute speeches. Thank you. I'm signing off. Vinod Agarwal.
Request our next speaker, Mr. Ramesh Shankar Golla from Hyderabad, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Ramesh Shankar Golla. We have not received any feedback from the speaker, sir. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Ravi Kumar Naredi from Bhilwara. Mr. Ravi Kumar Naredi, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. We have not received any feedback from the speaker as well. Moving on to our last speaker, Ms. Bharati Saraf from Kolkata. Ms. Bharati Saraf, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. There is no feedback from this speaker as well. With that, all the speakers who have registered today to speak are given an opportunity to speak. Now I hand it over back to the board. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, all the speakers. You have touched upon many important points.
We request the boardroom be unmuted near the chairman's mic, please.
Sorry. Thank you very much to all the speakers. You have touched upon many important points. May I now request the MD and CEO to reply to your queries.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, the shareholder. Your very important question raised to us, and many of the questions in here. So I like to give some of the brief, and the major will be like to later, given that the all clarification. The first point on that, the bank are focusing in the retail business. Two types of retail business. One is in housing. We know that the Gruhu Finance we have been taken over, and there is a good plan, and that the Gruhu have been done in the last financial year. Within this, the crisis period, 5% year-on-year growth. So we are focusing on that, the credit. And other than the housing loan, retail has that the focusing on that. We are build up a new vertical, and the good team have been developed in from the market and internally together, which is that the gold loan. We have a good number of branches with the gold loan, and the portfolio also growing on that, and personal loan, two-wheeler loan. And these are all the retail vertical. We are providing the credit, whatever the customer have need this type of credit. We will be like to expand on day wise other than microcredit. And the second point on that, the bank has the good deposit amount, no doubt, and bulk deposit. What question is there? The bank have the bulk deposit gradually declining, and so that our retail deposit of the total deposit is in 79%, which is showing very high on that. And we have the plan on that gradually it will be like to reduce the bulk deposit and increase the retail deposit. And I already mentioned in my speech on that our savings deposit is in a very good amount. CASA is in highest growth. We have been seeing that in the last financial year. We have the good plan of the branch plan, branch opening plan, but this is a time is a COVID situation. So this year we are not open more branches. Whatever the balance number of branches we have not opened in the last year because of the corona. So this year will be like to complete it, but not further more branches will be like to open in this year. Coming to this, the employee point of view, yes, our employee more or less the 50% employees are vaccinated. We are trying to save their life on that, and the bank has provided that the free vaccination to the staff. This is the one side. Yes, the couple of number of the staff are affected, and they are now in a safe, and very few staff, as per my knowledge, is a 12 staff we have been lost as a life, and we are also make the package for their families the one time. So that is also we are in a keen on that to motivate the others on that. And there is a vision 2025 bank have been mentioned. I can be repeat again on that. There is a strategic plan on that. We can be reached to the across the country. And there is a four vertical. The for advance we are like to grow by this the 2025, which is in that the microcredit will be named as an EEB, Emerging Entrepreneurs, the banking business. So this the vertical will be like to come as a 30% strategically by 2025, and housing will become 30%, and other than housing, the all retail will become to the 10%, and MSME will become 30%. So that the 30, 30, 30, 10. So this is a strategy to grow on that way, and we are on that way. We have been feel that we will be like to reach on that strategy. Very good point you are mentioned about it, Assam and West Bengal, and very different two states. It's not in a West Bengal is not aligned with the Assam, and but the good thing is there that is improving from the July on that day by day. It is a very good hope we are seeing that, and the government initiative for Assam that also helped more on that to future. This is will be like to very good collection on that. Bank are using the fraud detection software. After that, also a couple of has come, and we are trying our best way to control on that. I honor all of your suggestion on that. We'll be like to continue. Bank have their headquarters in Calcutta, and we are now building a new building, which is the 26th floor, is in Kolkata, New Town, financial hub. So as per plan on that, bank can be like to shift that building in 2024 as per the today plan on that. So, and some of the point maybe my CFO can be add on that, and then I can be like to say that the balance can be like to give the reply details on that to the report. So thank you from my side to raise this the points, and give the chance to us to serve the country people, and in the best way. Thank you. Sunil.
Good afternoon, shareholders. There was a question on total banking outlets added during previous financial year. The number is 751. Total employees added during the previous financial year, 9,695. So this is the net addition. A question on PSLC, or the priority sector that we monetize. What is the income on that? The answer is 731 crores is what we earned on the PSLC income by monetizing our priority assets. Someone asked about the plan on corporate lending. As per our Vision 2025, we don't intend to get into corporate lending at least till Vision 2025. Someone asked on why we are not adding the housing finance vertical. The number stands at 195. We are not adding an exclusive housing finance branches or outlets, but we are increasing our presence in housing finance and distribution by adding a desk in our own branch. So it is not that growth in housing finance distribution is not happening. It's happening through our branch network. These were the few points which I think, in addition to what Mr. Ghosh explained, any further queries, we'll be happy to respond over the emails. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, from my side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghosh.
Sir, request your mic be unmuted, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sorry. I hope your queries have been addressed by the MD and CEO. I thank them for their responses. With your permission, I will now read out the resolutions proposed for approval of the members in the notice dated June 25, 2021, convening this AGM. Since this meeting is conducted through electronic mode, no proposing and/or seconding of the resolutions will be required. The combined results of the remote e-voting and e-voting during the meeting will be considered for approval of each of the resolutions. First, ordinary businesses. Agenda item number 1 of the notice, ordinary resolution. To consider and adopt the audited financial statements of the bank for the financial year ending March 31st, 2021, and the reports of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon. I can continue. Okay. Now, agenda item number 2 of the notice, ordinary resolution. This is declaration of dividend, to approve the declaration of dividend on equity shares of the bank for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021. Next is agenda item number 3 of the notice, again an ordinary resolution. This is regarding the reappointment of Dr. Holger Dirk Michaelis as director. To approve the appointment of Dr. Holger Dirk Michaelis, DIN 07205-838, who retires by rotation as a director and being eligible, offered himself for reappointment. Agenda item number 4 of the notice, again ordinary resolution. This is appointment of M.M. Nissim and Company, LLP, as joint statutory auditors and remuneration. To approve the appointment of M.M. Nissim and Company, LLP, Chartered Accountants, ICAI firm registration number 107122W W100672 as joint statutory auditors of the bank, and to fix the remuneration of joint statutory auditors. Then agenda number 5 of the notice, again an ordinary resolution. This is regarding the appointment of Mr. Suhail Chandar as an independent director. To approve the appointment of Mr. Suhail Chandar, DIN 06941577, as an independent director of the bank for a period of 3 years, effective March 19, 2021. Next is agenda item number 6 of the notice, then an ordinary resolution. This is regarding appointment of Mr. Subroto Dattagupta as an independent director. To approve the appointment of Mr. Subroto Dattagupta, DIN 08767943, as an independent director of the bank for a period of 3 years, effective March 19, 2021. Next is agenda item number 7 of the notice. This is a special resolution regarding reappointment of Dr. Allamraju Subramanya Ramsastri. To approve the reappointment of Dr. Allamraju Subramanya Ramasastri, DIN 06916673, as an independent director of the bank for a second term of 5 years, effective August 8, 2021. Agenda number 8 of the notice. This is again a special resolution. This is reappointment of Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee as an independent director. To approve the reappointment of Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee, DIN 07716452, as an independent director of the bank for a second term of 5 years, effective January 7, 2022. Dear members, since the next two proposals are related to my reappointments and remuneration, and I am interested in these proposals, I request Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, MD and CEO, to chair the meeting for the next two proposals.
Thank you, sir. A reappointment of Dr. Anup Kumar Sinha as an independent director. To approve the reappointment of Dr. Anup Kumar Sinha, DIN 082498893, as an independent director of the bank for a second term from January 7, 2022 up to July 4, 2026. That is, up to the date of his attaining the age of 75 years. Agenda item number 10 of the notice ordinary resolution, a reappointment of Dr. Anup Kumar Sinha as a non-executive chairman, including remuneration. To approve the reappointment of Dr. Anup Kumar Sinha, DIN 08249893, as the non-executive chairman of the bank from the January 7, 2022 up to July 4, 2026, that is, up to the date of his attaining the age of 75 years, including remuneration. Now, I would request Chairman, sir, to take the chair. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. We come to agenda item number 11 of the notice. This is an ordinary resolution. Reappointment of Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, Managing Director and CEO of the bank. This is to approve the reappointment of Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, DIN 00342477, Managing Director and CEO of the bank for a period of 3 years, effective July 10th, 2021, up to July 9, 2024. Next is agenda item number 12 of the notice, again an ordinary resolution. Revision of remuneration of Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, Managing Director and CEO. To approve the revision in the remuneration of Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, DIN 00342477, Managing Director and CEO of the bank, effective August 18, 2020. So that completes our resolutions for this AGM. Members who have not yet cast their vote may now vote by clicking on the InstaPoll button visible on the VC screen, which has now been activated and shall be available for 15 minutes hereafter. The scrutinizer is requested to submit a consolidated report on the remote e-voting and InstaPoll at the earliest, but not later than August 8, 2021. The result of the voting shall be declared upon receipt of the scrutinizer's report. The result declared along with the scrutinizer's report shall be placed on the website of the bank at www.bandhanbank.com and on the website of the service provider for e-voting, that is KFin, at https://evoting.kfintech.com, immediately after the declaration of the results by the chairman or the company secretary. The results will simultaneously be communicated to the stock exchanges where the shares of the bank are listed. The result will also be displayed at the registered office and head office of the bank. There being no other business to transact, the meeting stands concluded upon completion of InstaPoll. Thank you very much for your participation. I wish all of you to stay alert and stay safe. I'm sure with the joint efforts of all of us, we will certainly win over COVID-19.
Thank you, Chairman Sir, for conducting the 7th AGM of the bank. On behalf of all present in this meeting, I convey my heartfelt thanks to the chair. Please be safe and alert. Keep COVID-19 at bay. Thank you to all of you.
you.